The Islamic dilemma has certainly been making the rounds on the internet recently, and it's been incredibly fun to watch all the little Dawa guys run around like headless chickens, trying to put a stop to what is inevitably a sea of Muslims seeing the truth. Finally seeing that what Christians have said all along, that Islam cannot stand up to critique. The Islamic dilemma has been a very powerful tool. But I have my own Islamic dilemma. I have got what I like to call the Prophetic Veracity Dilemma. Now, big fancy title, but very simply stated, Islam cannot affirm Jesus as a true prophet without either making him misleading, mistaken, or misrepresented by Allah. The three M's I like to say: misleading, mistaken, or misrepresented by Allah. You see, very simply, Islam claims to honor Jesus as a true prophet of God, of Allah. That sounds respectful on the surface, but when you slow down and actually think about it, it presents a very serious problem. See, the thing is, this is a question that Islam cannot actually escape. Here it is. Did Jesus speak truthfully to his followers during his earthly ministry? Yes or no? Now, my Muslim friends, if you answer yes, then we have a huge problem for Islam, because the historical Jesus, as understood by his own disciples, even his enemies, secular historians, all record that he spoke and acted in ways that your Quran, your Hadith, that Islam in general explicitly denies. You see, Jesus accepted worship. He spoke with divine authority. In fact, this even goes a stage further. Jesus redefined the word faithfulness around himself, because to honor the true God, you honor Jesus. Now, Jesus even predicted his own death. He gathered to himself disciples who worshipped him, who suffered for him, and proclaimed him as Lord from the very beginning. Now, that means Islam must now explain why all of Jesus' closest followers misunderstood him, or why his enemies accused him of blasphemy, because the Jews understood exactly what Jesus was claiming, that he is God. You also must explain why the entire movement that arose from Jesus' ministry centers on the worship of him as God. This doesn't look like the fruit of a faithful prophet of Islam, who's clearly communicating the truth of Tawheed. So, if Jesus spoke truthfully, Islam misrepresents him. But if you answer no, if Jesus did not speak truthfully or clearly, then the problem is even worse for you guys, because a prophet who misleads his followers, whether intentionally or through catastrophic confusion, is no prophet at all. That just strips Jesus of the very status that Islam claims to honor of him. Either he was a failed prophet, or he didn't communicate very clearly. Either way, this only leaves Islam with one remaining option. Guess what that is? It's to say that Allah corrected Jesus' message 6 whole centuries later. 6 whole centuries later. But think about what that implies. It means Allah allowed billions of people to be misled about one of his greatest prophets. It means Allah permitted the worship, the devotion, and prayer directed towards Jesus to dominate world history without any correction. It means Allah waited 600 years to clarify what Jesus supposedly failed to make clear. Now think about all of that. That damages Allah's wisdom. It damages Allah's providence. And it damages his concern for humanity. So, just in case you haven't been keeping up, here's the dilemma. Either Jesus clearly taught what his followers believed, in which case Islam misrepresents him, Or Jesus failed so badly as a prophet that his entire movement misunderstood him from the start, taught, lived, died for the fact that Jesus was God. Now, if that's the case, that Jesus misled them so badly or wasn't clear enough, then guess what that means? It means Islam cannot preserve Jesus as a truthful prophet at all. You see, guys, you can't have it both ways. However, Christianity does not have this problem. We take Jesus at his word. In his own historical context, as understood by those who lived and walked with him, his contemporaries, the Jews, understand that he claimed to be God, that he made himself equal with the Father. His disciples worshipped him and died confessing him. So, the question is not whether Islam respects Jesus in name. The question is whether Islam can actually account for Jesus as a prophet without collapsing its own claims about prophecy, revelation, and God. You see, folks, very, very simply, either Jesus spoke truthfully and Islam misrepresents him, or Jesus failed as a prophet and Islam cannot honor him at all. Here again we have it, folks, another Islamic dilemma which they're all going to run from. This is something I have termed the Prophetic Veracity Dilemma. Stated very simply, like I did at the beginning of the video, Islam cannot affirm Jesus as a true prophet without either making him misleading, mistaken, or misrepresented by Allah. Have fun, guys. Christ is King.